Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. Here we are at the Prado Hospital having a look at a Prado that's done nearly 450,000 Ks. So we've done a very quick mechanical inspection check over. This is not a vehicle we regularly service. It's much cleaner under the bonnet. We've done injectors, big front engine, that sort of thing. Haven't worked under this vehicle, if ever, many years ago. And it's not clean to our standard, but look, it's not about that. I just want to show you what the vehicles look like, right, as clearly as I can, with a bit of commentary as to what you're looking at. And I'm not saying everything that's been done, replaced and set up on this vehicle is the way I'd recommend or do it, but some of the things that you're going to be looking at and deterioration, what you may or may be looking at, so you can plan what you've got to do with your vehicle based on averages, which is what we like to do. When you see a lot of the same thing, you can work it out from averages. Now, my understanding, let's starting at the rear, we have seen some vehicles that the rear axle bearings get noisy in the 300,000 range. That being said, this one's done near 450. My understanding, it's got original rear axle bearings. They look original. I don't know that they've been replaced. I could be wrong. Okay, that's why you subscribe, have the bell on, stay tuned, and when we do another video on this one or a different one again, I might even in another video say, hey, you know, that one we looked at that's done nearly 450 and I said had original axle bearings, I was wrong, they'd been changed. I'll say stuff like that. Okay, things have been changed against our recommendation, aftermarket brake lines, stuff like that, airbags, whatever brand of suspension. Looks like the fuel hose has been done because it's not leaking. That's good. You know about that one, it's in other videos. That fuel hose, every 120 Prado should have it replaced by now. Some of them should be almost looking at a second time. Obviously more important on the V6 because petrol you don't want leaking out. They split those hoses there. Right, so what are you looking at here? We're looking at a bit of mud, exhaust system. Okay, let's look at the exhaust. I just want to talk about the exhaust system because we talk about that. Right, has it been replaced? Look at that. People say, it's rubbish. I've done a video like this before. They say it's rubbish, right? There it is, mate. There's the original muffler. There it is. Bit of dirty, muddy colour, rusty. We're talking about 12, 13, 14 years, used off-road, whatever, and the damn thing's awesome condition, in my opinion. Don't touch the exhaust system. It works really well. It's only got one muffler. It is nice and quiet. It's a bit restrictive, but not too bad. It's not causing any problems to this engine in its standard, reliable, quiet, efficient, environmentally friendly, longevity form. You know what I mean? They drive well. They're not race cars anyway, but they go well for what they are. Anyway, it's not just about the exhaust. I started at the back and I saw the tailpipe and I went, damn, that's in good condition. Right, look at it, the quality of the materials. And someone said, I wasn't sure. You know, of course, I know, you know, sometimes I say things without thinking, oh, you know, of course they're not stainless. I put magnets on them all the time. Stainless isn't magnetic generally, some is, you know, depending on quality and that. And, but look, someone said, and good point, because I'm like, it must be something because it doesn't rust. Of course, it's got some sort of zinc coating, some coating on it anyway. I don't know what it is, but probably something, some sort of zinc aluminum coating, which is why they stay in really awesome condition, right? It's not all about mufflers, but this is what you can look at. Tanks look good, body looks good, hard to see through the mud and everything, but you know, it's got the water tank here, that's cool. That's neither here nor there. Like I said, a bit of mud, but you see it hasn't got oil leaks. That's just tyre shine on the conies even, I think. Well, maybe a bit of a leak there, but that's not much. That's nothing to worry about, okay? Right, a bit of red could be just because it's, you know, clean. There's nothing to see back here. And there's no play in the bearings, you know, you want to have a listen to them yourself. Brakes are a bit tight, maybe the calipers need some work, the slides or something anyway. Something that needs to be checked out when the brakes get done. I think they've just been done, but anyway, not here. I'll be changing those brake lines back to original. Airbags, yeah, they can stay there because someone cut the spring top outs. You need one or the other really. You probably don't need them, but it's a way to put it there, so I say stick with it. Looks like these lower trailing arms have been changed. You don't usually need to do that, but you know, some people, if you go to a suspension joint and they go over the car, they're there to sell you suspension, right? So they're going to do that. Okay, the upper trailing arms, these ones up here, I wouldn't say that you need them, but these bushes up here normally, these are the aftermarket, they've been changed, probably Super Pro or something. Sometimes they get some little cracks in them, but they're not usually too bad, so I wouldn't say that you need them. So I wouldn't say you need to plan towards replacing those bushes or those arms, but if you want to be really fussy and spend money on the car, it's something you can do. There's that fuel hose again. So exhausts are good, we've checked for play and all the unis are still good, lubricate those. Maintenance, exhaust is good, chassis is good, everything's good. You know, it's good, right? It's good. You know, is the turbo being done on this one? I don't think so. I'd say there's something going on with it before, actually, because that looks like a different, I'm not sure if that's a different pipe or not. I'd have to look at another one directly and picture it, because I don't take that much notice, but that dump pipe could be different. So this may have had any, no, the exhaust looks too original. You wouldn't have got a new genuine exhaust to put back on it, but yeah, it's probably original, but we've got to take more notice of some things, don't I? So engine mounts, I think they're original, so you know, you don't have to do those, but you know about the vibration, I've told you about that. Lower control arm bushes by now would have been done, and you can see they have been. What other things are we looking at? Drive shafts in this one, they do look original, but I can't be sure of that. No, it looks like something's been done with a boot or something there. That's not original. So you're going to buy this sort of cage, you're going to be talking probably drive shafts, and I'm not agreeable with the brands of suspension, the setup, the brake lines, the aftermarket arms or anything like that. You shouldn't have needed upper arms. We don't see any problems with usually. That's more just these lower bushes, particularly it can be the front or the back, but usually this back one here. Front wheel bearings, playing those. I don't know that these have been done, but I don't know. I'm not sure. But these are the sort of things, even at 450k, this is what the vehicle's going to look like. Don't worry about all the bit of oily stuff up there. We've done the big front engine job, we've done the injectors, it's really clean up there, except, you know, a bit of excess coolant and stuff like that yet to be cleaned up. So, and I'm not saying we're taking the blame for all of that. People spray tyre shine on, it's all this shiny business. You know, like they miss the, see, you can see the tyre, it's got the tyre shine on the tyre, but it misses and it hits there as well. So, but yeah, we'll clean it up anyway, because we don't like oily mess like that. But then, I don't want to clean this, but it'd be good if this was clean, but then we could see more. Clean's good, you know, clean's a good thing. Anyway, I just wanted to show you what a near 450,000k Prado looks like, and just re-mention, and it's in other videos, so I always keep saying, go and watch all those other videos, because the information's there. The sorts of things that you need to look out for. I think there's one called that actually, what to look out for when buying a Prado, servicing Prados, words like that. Use the least words possible when you're searching our channel, like service, and you'll get a whole heap of results. Service Prado, servicing a Prado, try a few different things like that. Please don't send me messages and that asking questions, because you can put it in replies asking questions, but understand, busy. You probably won't get a reply there. You might sometimes, but watch the next videos, because your answers will be in other videos sooner or later. And the more people that ask the same questions, that's what we're going to put up. So that's what we're going to answer, provide the information that you want and that we see as most important information. Right, it's all looking pretty good, guys. So if I, just to recap, on this vehicle at 450, what would we have replaced? We replaced, if it was up to me, front wheel bearings. I would have done the rears by now as well at about 400 if I hadn't had any noise or play. Not really a problem, but good prevention if you're traveling. If you're not traveling, if you're not going far from home, you don't need to do that prevention. Same with the front wheel bearings. You don't need to do as prevention if it's a shopping trolley, you know, like you're just going to school and back, shops and back, not going more than 100 k's from home. You can just check at each service, replace as necessary. It's more if you're on trips, you need to do as prevention. So front wheel bearings, 200,000 k's, rear wheel bearings, probably 350, 400,000 k's. Front lower control arms, probably 250k. Those arms, I'd change them with genuine. Suspensions wear and tear needs to be done regularly. I know, maybe every 150, depends what you got and how you use it. Suspension specialists say every 80,000. That's a bit, that's going a bit too much in my opinion. If you use it off-road, certainly it would probably be stuffed even before then, depending how you use it. But you know, trying to get 100,000 out of your suspension is the general rule of thumb, I think. And when I say suspension, you don't ever need to change your springs again if you're happy with the height. It all comes down to the shockers. They do your control, your valving, and control your spring for you. Anyway, there's a heap of information. what they look like at, see that aftermarket line up there? It's rubbing on the body up there, whatever. What's that? What is that? Oh, that's an airline. Yeah, okay. Well, it's got a bit of protection. It's probably, so there's a few. I'll say it again. Cover myself. I haven't set this up or made these recommendations for this setup. The recommendations I would have made is those Dobinson's coils, no problem. The airbags, I think they were. I'm pretty sure I might have put these coils in. I think the airbags were already there. Put them back there. Obviously, they are kind of like the spring top outs, if you like. So they're not actually there to do anything. They've got a minimum pressure in there, but they won't compress down. Hopefully more than what the original spring top out would, because I think they're quite expensive to buy, and after people have cut them, putting airbags in. You can buy spacers, not that cheap either. Okay, what else can I tell you about this one? Yeah, so I said wheel bearings, lower control arms. I'd probably put drive shafts in around the same time as the rear wheel bearings, right? You know, about the 350, 400, you know. As I said, something's been done. So if you have problems at 200 or 300,000, then you do it then. If you've had no issues with rear wheel bearings or drive shafts, I'd do them at 350 for both of those. Lower control arms, if you've had no issue. Look, if they're looking good at 250, don't change them. Let's do that one by inspection. So a bush, we can do by inspection, but my guide is if you look after it based on averages fairly well, they're going to last you about 250. Shouldn't be less than a couple 100,000 Ks. They might last you 400,000 if you really look after them. The other thing that happens is a bit of a sweat at the steering rack. I sort of don't worry about that too much till things get worse. It's quite common that there's a little bit of a sweat like that. You may want to change the boots. Sometimes you get a bit of play on the inner rack ends. That's the one inside that screws into the end of the rack inside that boot. If I'm going to change an inner rack end, I'm going to say, let's do the rack end, let's do the boot, let's do the clips, and let's do the tie rod end, because that's the cheaper end of the deal. These inner rack ends can be a bit expensive. So if you're going to spend, I don't know, a couple on, I can't remember. I really can't remember. They could be 80, 180, 280, or 380. But if you're going to spend a couple $100 on those, you might as well spend another, you know, 50 or $100 on boots, clamps, tie rod end, and you know, just you got the whole thing complete. Then say your rack shags out, well, you can send it away and get it rebuilt, and you can say, look, you don't need to change the tie rod ends or whatever, because we've got new ones there already, and it'll be easy for them to remove and refit because they're all nice and clean, good condition. Bada bing, that's about it, guys. That's a Prado that's done 450,000 Ks. If you got something out of that to help you plan for what you might need to do and maintenance wise, please give us the thumbs up. And yeah, if you haven't already, subscribe and turn that bell on. It's a bada boom, bada bing. We're out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.